Pedro Castillo was sworn in on Wednesday as Peru's new president, beginning his 5-year term on the 200th anniversary of Peru's independence. The official results of the election had been delayed for weeks due to appeals of alleged voter fraud from right-wing contender Keiko Fujimori. Castillo declared victory on Monday after the election authority found no evidence of voter fraud. The presidential election came amid deep political divisions in Peru. Further, the country is struggling to manage its COVID-19 death rate, which is the highest in the world per capita, and its subsequent economic downturn. Castillo intends to redraft the constitution to bolster the role of the state, which has already caused tremors among investors and the business community who fear heavy taxation of major industries. However, Castillo plans to keep conservative Julio Velarde as Peru's central bank president and Pedro Franque as his economic advisor, signaling moderation in the new cabinet. Nevertheless, congressional divisions will likely slow the implementation of Castillo's agenda, rendering it difficult to achieve lasting fundamental change. In the wake of mass protests last weekend, Tunisian President Kais Saied seized power from the rest of the government on Monday, dismissing Prime Minister Hichem Mechichi and suspending parliament for 30 days.
My first decision is the freezing of the functions of Parliament. The Constitution does not allow me to dissolve Parliament, but it does allow the freezing of the Parliament's activities.
Saied's supporters have celebrated the president's move, which they claim is aimed at stabilizing a country racked by chaotic governance throughout the pandemic. Opponents decry the move as a coup. Popular support for Saied is largely due to failures of the moderate Islamist Ennahda Party, the country's largest political party, to stabilize the economy, compounded by the highest rates of COVID-19 deaths in the Middle East and North Africa. The political crisis has led to internal divisions within Ennahda, with senior officials calling for the resignation of party leader Rached Ghannouchi, casting doubt on their ability to retain control of parliament after the suspension. On Thursday, Saied appointed former National Security Advisor Rita Garza-Lui to chair the Interior Ministry as the international community increased pressure on Saied to return to democratic rule. However, despite the largest political parties denouncing Saied's actions, the absence of military opposition indicates a continuation of Saied's power grab, with international bodies like the United Nations and European Union so far abstaining from any direct action. The potential for foreign interference by counter-revolutionary powers like Saudi Arabia and the UAE in support of Saied is likely to grow in the near future. Discontent over persistent water shortages came to a head in Iran this week, when protesters across the country, including in the capital of Tehran, clashed with security forces. It is estimated that at least 8 protesters have been killed and hundreds arrested. Blistering temperatures in excess of 50 degrees Celsius and the lowest levels of rainfall in half a century have left many Iranians without water or hydropower electricity for weeks, igniting the violent protests throughout the southwestern province of Khuzestan, which began July 15th. As the water crisis and with it protests continue, expect a crackdown from the government, which has been criticized for lagging behind on climate change policy. In the short term, the drought will certainly serve as a test for newly elected President Ibrahim Raisi and the conservative Iranian political class, as popular dissatisfaction continues to swell under an additional surge of COVID-19 cases. The government will likely brace itself for an increase in rural migration to the cities, putting additional strain on Iran's crumbling infrastructure and causing an influx of uneducated laborers unable to find jobs. Moreover, unrest has the potential to spill over into neighboring Iraq, which relies on importing Iranian hydroelectric energy and shares the crucial water supply of the Tigris River.